try to imagine the way in which the principle about time, this idea of timelessness and hoping for the timelessness or eternity, the eternal bliss, might turn into not just an ideological presupposition or theological presupposition, but become instantiated in a way of life, and then in an architecture, and then in a form of being. And so to think about dwelling in all of those ways, so you dwell on an image, you dwell on a problem, and then you dwell in a place, and then you dwell on, and you keep dwelling. And I wanted that to be the extreme version of what the opposite of epiphany might look like. I mean, it was perhaps cruel to take monasticism as the opposite of epiphany. That would be some would be upset by that. But it was the idea that actually, that idea that you could have a space with no surprise, a space with no story, a space and a life where waiting was the dominant mode. And if you think how often you think waiting is regarded as a bad thing in the modern city. When you wait for a bus, you're doing nothing. This is bad news. You're waiting. If you're in a traffic jam, you're waiting. You're doing nothing. You're wasting your economic potential as a bourgeois individual. It's not true in a monastery. You're waiting. By waiting, you're waiting for something. Right? So it's a continuum. You're waiting for something. And it's understanding that as a form of being and then a form of architecture would be quite interesting.